Michael Hanlon is a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution and director of research in foreign policy. Among other things, I asked him what a Trump re-election would mean for international relations.
Mr. Trump has been enormously disruptive to the transatlantic relationship. In other parts of the world, one can see some continuity, say with India. With India, I would not say that Trump has been hugely disruptive. But with Europe, he has frequently picked big fights with major allies, like Angela Merkel in Germany. He has frequently challenged whether the United States should even come to the defense of its NATO allies in the event of a security crisis. And therefore, he has challenged directly the basic underpinnings of the entire post-World War II transatlantic security order. And he's added on all the trade tensions that have been fairly pointless. So on this set of issues, I actually think he's been very poor, without even talking about Iran, without even talking about the Paris Climate Accord, where there's also huge transatlantic difference of opinion. So with regard to Europe, the choice is very, very clear. Obama and Biden have been historically very popular. Trump is historically very unpopular. Popularity doesn't mean everything. I'm not saying that's reason enough for an American voter to conclude how they should vote. But I don't think there's any real serious doubt about who Europe wants to win tomorrow.
And Trump's America First policy has clearly meant America alone in so many issues and agreements around the world. Does anyone expect that to really change if Trump is reelected?
Well, let's swing over to the Pacific. As you know, there have been big disputes between Trump and President Xi in China. And I think many of those would continue under Trump or Biden. And as you know, the U.S.-Japan relationship has stayed pretty strong even during the Trump presidency. So on an issue like Northeast Asia and China-Japan, I don't claim that there is quite as disparate or dramatic of a difference of opinion. The main difference there would be that Biden is a calmer, more traditional, more analytical, more diplomatic person. He's less likely to try to just disrupt things. But his basic view of the situation may not be radically different from Trump's. However, in regard to Europe, the two men are extremely far apart in every way I can think of.
So, Michael, what would you say the biggest foreign policy challenge is for the next administration, whether it's China, whether it's Russia, Iran, North Korea? What would it be?
I think I would stay with, again, Northeast Asia. I think China and North Korea would be the top of my list. And I think with China, we all know it's going to be a challenging relationship for both countries towards the other. But we have to find some way to make that competition and that challenging relationship calm, professional, and without the risk of arms racing or security crises or, heaven forbid, direct conflict.
We're running out of time, so I just want to make sure I get this last question in. Do you expect President Biden to rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement and rejoin the Iran nuclear deal known as JCPOA?
Yes and yes. And I think he would be right on the first one. On the second one, I'd rather see him try to get some better terms and extend the duration of the agreement. But the answer to your question is yes and yes.